Hi everyone, this is Jonathan from J5 Music, and in this video we were going to be looking at how we can create a house beat from scratch in Ableton Live. So this is what I've come up with, so I'm just going to basically run over everything that I've done to create this beat. So starting off with this house beat is the TR-909 classic Roland TR-909 drum machine. This houses multiple sounds, which you'd have heard, I'm sure, on many a tune. It was predominant in the 90s, but it is mainly used for techno, house music, and all sorts of genres, really. But the classic TR-909 sound is the fundamental of, in my opinion, a house beat. So this is why I've gone for that. All I've done with this is I have set up 3 audio tracks. So I've just right-clicked, inserted an audio track. I've gone to this tab here. I've gone to TR-909, which is this track, and then I've gone to one of these outputs. So depending on what sound has been played is what output I would have here. So if I just get rid of that track, for this example, foundation kick, that is on number 1. So if I go back into this plugin, I can go on to the options, and then I can go down to the sub output, and then I can select which tracks I want to be set for my sub output. So that basically means it's going to route out from the drum machine into an individual track, where it's better then because I could then EQ each one of these differently, or add maybe an effect on one of these if I wanted to. I could also set the levels easier on the mixer here, rather than going back into the plugin and doing it like that way. So this is what we've got just for the foundation. That's it. It's all in on the money. So this is a step sequencer. So if I just selected an area and then pressed Command Shift and M, this would create a MIDI clip for myself. What I noticed then is the tracks that is triggering this drum machine is C1, D sharp 1, and A sharp 1. So if I just come down to the bottom here and I go C1, D sharp 1, and then A sharp 1, and then if I just click on fold, you can now see that I have got all them sounds within this folded down menu. So if I just roll this back to 1 bar, so this is just looping 1 bar. I want a kick on the quarter note. So a house beat is usually 4/4. So that means if I just set this to 1/4, a time signature of 4 beats per bar. So a bar goes from 1 to 2, and then we divide that bar up into 4 sections, which means it'll be 4 beats per bar. That is what a house kick generally, a house beat generally uses. So I'm just going to set this to 1/8 notes, and then all I'm going to do is just press B on my computer to get the draw pencil up, and then I'm just going to put a note on the first beat, the second, the third, and then the fourth. If I just highlight these 2 and just press 0 on my keyboard, that will mute the clips within that MIDI clip. So if I just press play, you can hear now we've got a solid bass. All the velocities are the same, but because the plugin is doing a bit of work, you can hear that not every kick sounds the same. So if I were using a sample, then every kick would sound the same, which gets a bit tiring to the ears sometimes. So having a plugin like this helps that analog feel. It helps your ears accumulate to the sound. So next we'll look at the clap. The claps usually go, well, the claps go on the second beat and the fourth beat. So if we just put a clap in there and then a clap in there, and then this is what that sounds like. So that's this clap. And then moving on from that, we can then add the open hat, which go in between these beats. So this is called a downbeat because that's when the beat hits, and then in between these are called upbeats because that is where it's going up. It's going up to another beat and then down. So we want this hat to sit in between these two, so they have a relationship between them. So let's just do that, and then let's just play it. And that is just our foundation heartbeat of the track. We could utilize some onboard sort of tools that Ableton Live have. So if I just stretch this back out, I could then highlight this whole area by just dragging and dropping, and then press Command or Control and D, and that duplicates that over to your other side. Or I could alternatively just basically take that off, just go back to here. If I had that and then I wanted to duplicate this loop, I would then duplicate that like that and then do it again. So instead of having two bars now, I've now got 4 bars, and then I can stretch this out to 4 bars. If I go over the 4 bars, you'll notice this little dot here, which is there. That means that the loop starts again. So I've got a maximum of 4 bars in this arrangement. With all these being selected, I could then just turn that off, just highlight the whole of the hats, and then down here we could then randomize the velocity of the hi-hats. So I could then just bring it up a touch, then maybe add a bit of deviation as well. So randomization randomizes the velocities that you've selected, and deviation adds a deviation. So this will be in the range of, let's say, 99 to -16 from 99. And then you will always have the velocities hitting differently. So as you're going through the track, the velocities, that you'll have dynamic range basically within your drum loop. So this is what it sounds like. So you can hear that hi-hat getting quieter and a bit louder. We can do the same with the claps, just very subtly. I'm going to leave the kicks as it is because I want that as solid as it can be throughout the whole arrangement. And then from there, I'm just going to delete that track. And then from there, we can build up onto our next part. So moving on to our next part, we have this shuffle hat. So this is where we can start to add groove to our sequence. So as you can see in this example, these are in 16th notes. So if I just opened up, selected an area, Command, Shift and M to open up this area, you will see that this 1 bar is sectioned into 16 parts. So this is what this tab up here does. So 1 bar is basically a full bar. Half a bar is half a bar. A quarter bar is quarter bar of a full bar. And then you go down to eighths. And then so forth to 16ths. What we're going to be looking at is this section here and this section here on all these bars. So this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And what these are is these are the groove sort of notes. So if I just zoomed in here, if we add a groove to this, what groove and swing is it moves the note forward in time. So if we have not really much of a groove, not really much of a swing, like a percentage of 0. That'll be in its default position. Whereas if we increase that to 100%, it'd be like over here. So depending on how much swing you want within your track, that's dependent of where this start point goes. So if I just highlight this area, and you'll hear it now as it is. It's very monotonous. It's very on the grid. But when I start to move this will start to add groove. So this is how you can start to add groove to your mix. So you can either do it that way, manually, or you can grab a groove from the groove pool. So if I open the groove pool, it will take me directly to these grooves where we can select a groove. I've selected these 3, so Logic's 16th note, 62nd and 67th. If I just put this on there, so if I just turn this back to its normal position, and I just add a groove whilst I play it, then you'll see what happens. So with that being said, what I would like to do now is add more groove to it by adjusting the velocities. But I'm not going to play all of these notes. I only want to play these groove spots, or groove notes should I say. So if I just delete this, and then I'm just going to add a note on every one of these. So I'm just going to change the velocity a bit on these, just to add a bit more groove. And then from that, I could then duplicate that over, stretch it out, and then duplicate it over again. But then on this last sort of maybe bar, maybe here, I will just bring these and then just do something like this. So this is what it will sound like at the end of the 4 bars. You'll also notice that we can change the pitch of the sample, because this is a sample which I've taken from the TR-909. This sample sounds like this when we re-pitch it, because it was up here. If we match that with the actual original pitch of the TR-909, then it sounds more coherent with it. And then from there, we can start building up a track. I will quickly show you how I got the sample from the TR-909. So all I do is go into my TR-909. What I have to do is just click on this option button, make sure it's drag and drop as audio, and then go to my sub output, turn off the open hi-hat as an output, come down here into the edit mode, find open hi-hat, put a trigger on the actual point, and then just simply drag and drop this into its own audio track, which if I play it now, you can hear we've got that sound twice because this is playing. So I'm just going to change this back to my normal output, turn that off, and then here you'll hear that we've got this sound. I could then open up by right clicking on here, by clicking insert to MIDI, and then drag and dropping that into an actual MIDI clip, where I could then play whatever I want to do from that. So that's how we export audio from the actual TR-909. So next up, I'm going to add a shaker. So I'm just going to quickly highlight this area, Command Shift and M, and then I've basically got the exact same. I've got a shaker sample, put that into its own device, and then go to its root note, which is C3, I believe. And then I'm just going to set this to 16th notes. How do I go up? That one. That's a bit better. So if I go back to this, you'll see that all these are done in 16th notes. So all I'm going to do is just zoom in on this first bit here, put 4 of them in, and then duplicate that. Just randomize them up a bit. Or what I could do is just take them all to one point and then randomize them up like that, and then just maybe do that, and then let's just see how this sounds. Sounds all right. So then if we just duplicate that over, duplicate again and again, I could then select the whole lot, just bring this down to the bottom, and then because all these are basically the same going over and over, I just want to randomize them up a bit like that, maybe have a bit of deviation to them as well. So now with the a different swing on it, this is what the whole groove sounds like. So this is it without the shaker, with the shaker. Just adds a bit more energy to the house beat. What I've done then is also added the auto pan as a sidechain. We'll look at sidechain in another video. Next, we have 2 snares. We have just panned right and left. I will just drag and drop these over just because it's quicker. So as you can see here, I've taken each of these slots and put them on this end note. So if you remember, this slot and this slot within these bars are our groove slots. So I've put that one in there, that one in there, double tapped it, and then here. And for this one, this sort of corresponds to this one. So if we just hear this in the full now. So these samples come from my sample pack. So this one is quite a short and snappy snare, whereas this one is just straight from the 909 kit. Next, after that, is I want to add some more energy in. So this is where a ride can come in. So this is what a ride sounds like. And what we want to do with this highlighter section again, if we press Command Shift and M to open up this as MIDI window, right click on here. If we go down to 1/8 notes, find what we're happy with, and then what I want to do is just add them on these groove spots. And then what I'll do is I'll just select all of this, duplicate it by pressing Command and D. And then from this, I want to just click and hold, but then I want to press Option and just let go of the mouse. If I bring down these velocities, this is what we get. And then if we add a bit of swing to that, that sounds really nice. If I just click on this and then just add a touch of randomization with a bit of deviation there. It's sounding more natural. It's sounding really groovy. And this is just the first part of our drum loop. So I'm just going to leave it at that for this video. In the next video, we will finish up this drum loop. We will look at custom loop effects, vinyl texture, percussion, and fills, etc. So I hope you've enjoyed this video so far. We've gone through quite a lot there. If there's any questions you'd like to know, just put them in the comments and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. The one last thing I will add is just like a real clap. So this is a plugin that I have put on, and this is called Hand Clap Studio by Robotic Bean. I've set it up in a way where it's got 6 people clapping all at once, and it's quite loose, spread the strength of it and whatnot. But if I just put this, so if I highlight this area, Command Shift and M, and then just find the note that I'm looking for, which is that one. We know that we want to be on 8th notes and that one. So if I press B on the keyboard to bring up the draw bar, and I just start putting these on, these notes, if I just highlight this whole area, I could then press Command and D. And then what this will do is it will add a bit of realism to our drum loop. So let's just listen to it. Before, and then this is with the added real clap. What we could do then is just bring the velocity down a bit. So it's just adding a bit of something to the actual 909 kit. So if we just do it before and after. It's just adding a bit more flavour to the clap and the groove of the overall track. So this is what we've come up with in this first part of this video. The next part of the video, part 2, we will obviously look at custom lo-fi loop. This is to add a bit of texture to the actual drum loop. We'll add a bit of vinyl texture via a plugin, and then we're going to create some effects and perk fills for the whole drum loop as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in part 2.